welcome back to another week. It's going to be cold out Monday and Tuesday, but you probably saw the email from Dr. Borden that we will be in session for sure on Monday, and we'll see what happens with the weather on Tuesday. A couple things going on this week. We have a staff meeting Monday after school. Talk about that a little bit later. We also have the 8th grade orientation over at the high school tomorrow night, and so we'll have a lot of 8th grade families over there. Thursday, during the lunches, is a listen and learn session. I think they had one at the high school a week or two ago. You can have your lunch with Dr. Borden and Higgins just to talk. So hopefully some more information will come out about that. And that's it for big things on the agenda this week. Ski trips start later this week, so we'll see how that goes. I think the weather should warm up by then. So we'll see you in the hallway. Staff meeting on Monday. We're going to be taking a look at doing some celebrating. We've got a couple things to celebrate. We've got some shower to do in the beginning, and we actually have some data to share that's really positive. So we want to definitely do that. It has to do with STAR testing. We're also going to look at an update on Effective Educator, that whole process. Greg Vandehay and I will share some information, get people updated on that, and really frankly just lay out the plan here for the rest of the year for using our staff meetings. Right, not this week, but next week we will have our Chinese visitors here. We, on Wednesday, those students as well as our American students will likely be on a field trip checking out the Geology Museum and the UW, the Capitol, and so on and so forth. That will be a week from this Wednesday. So we're looking forward to that day, and I will be taking part in that field trip. And so we'll communicate that to the teachers that have students that will be on that trip. We'll talk more about this at our staff meeting, but obviously we are at a point in the year where, boy, there's still a lot going on, isn't there? And people are feeling overwhelmed. Every one of us is feeling that way. We know everybody is doing the best they can. So how do we start to how do we take care of ourselves between now and the rest of the year? So we're going to do a few things. We'll talk about quite a bit. Remember we did some listening sessions last year about the schedule. We're actually going to do some listening sessions that we'll schedule this week, not during this week, but we'll schedule those in the near future, focused on educator effectiveness, literacy, RTI, Norsky time, and PBIS. Kind of those are the big rocks that we're working on across the district, and make sure that you can get your questions answered, as well as kind of, again, lay out, like, these are things that we're doing, so how can we not do some other things, and looking for some input from you guys on how to make some of that happen. So stay tuned for more information on some listening sessions coming up in the next thing I've got for you today. I will be setting up some team meetings. Hopefully can get a bunch of them done this week. They might bleed over into next week, depends on the weather. I have a few things that I want to talk to teams about. With all the PLC meetings, I haven't been able to connect with teams. Bill and Kim have done most of that this year. I need to talk with teams about the following. We're going to talk about some kind of structural things and things kind of moving forward as we look forward to next year. Don't worry, not drastic changes, nothing that's going to rock your world or anything, but just some things that you're aware of where we're at with scheduling and so on. Grading, taking a look at when is the right time to be talking about grading practices and so on. So just kind of getting your feedback. Again, I'm not putting something else out there. We just haven't talked about it in a while, so I want to get some input from you. And one thing we do need to talk about is student-led conferences next year for the fall conferences. Several teams, most teams, academic teams, did some form of student-led conferencing. And the parent feedback on that has been really positive. It even made its way to the PTO Key Communicators Committee that meets at the district office every month. So I want to touch base with teams and just see what you're doing, how you're doing. Is there a way that we can align it and make sure that it works, especially with the structure of conferences now with midday till evening. So I'm going to set up some team meetings, and we'll go from there. So that's it for the news this week, everybody. I'll see you in the hallways.